Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren and today I want to cover my top 5 specializations best suited for 2v2 arenas. This list is primarily my own opinion, so take it as such with a grain of salt. So, without further ado, let's begin. Have you ever wanted to dominate arenas? Wanted to play a class that every healer wants to pair up with? 2v2 arenas are not the most balanced arenas since not every class gets the opportunity to excel in them. But a few of the specific classes are so strong that they are the best at farming points in 2v2 games. These classes are the best geared and have the most damage, and some of them might have the best toolkits to counter most comps. If you are one of those classes and or want to dominate the 2v2 scene for a little bit, then you're more than welcome to, as most classes will either want to be you or play with you. Let's get to my list of the top 5 specializations of classes that are the strongest for 2v2 arenas. First one on the list is the Windwalker Monk. Monks are currently very strong, especially orc monks. Their Fists of Fury will not only stun lock you, but will deal massive cleave damage to anyone caught in their path. Currently, they're one of the few classes who can easily global you in a stun lock, so hold on to your trinket when going against a monk. Paired with powerful artifact weapon which hits like a truck, they also have Touch of Death, which is a very stealthy ability that collects some of the damage that the monk does to the target and then unleashes a hidden attack. Healers sometimes feel that they're safe after a monk's burst until Touch of Death obliterates them seconds later. Surviving Windwalker monks takes a little bit of skill, as they are hard to run away from due to their impressive mobility. Of course, Karma, which is still a thing, this confusing spell redirects damage the monk would take to a chosen target, which gets even more confusing when you throw a few Windwalkers into a single arena together. Currently, monks have insanely good mobility, sustain, burst, utility, and they're very much fun to play since they're reworked for their mastery in Legion, a class which hits hard, moves fast, and is very much fun to play. On the next on the list we have the Feral Druid. Ferals no longer use instant clones or clone at all. We will miss the old Feral Druids of back in the day. But in Legion, Ferals come back with bleeds, dishing out a ton of damage between foes. Feral's single target damage might not be as good as that of a Windwalker, but where they shine is spread pressure. Putting bleeds on many foes and draining them over time is what Ferals do best. Bleeds are dots which are very hard to counter since they are not exactly physical damage nor magical damage. Able to tear through clothies and plate alike, Ferals pounce all over the map with great mobility, ripping and raking their foes. Ferals bring in great off-healing whenever the healers are in trouble, so instead of peeling they end up healing. It is probably one of the best DPS classes with strong healing potential. In Warlords of General, Ferals were all about this massive ferocious bite, but now in Legion they're back in action with bleeds as they have been since the days of Cataclysm, which is of course a ton of fun to play. Strong bleeds, strong burst, massive spread pressure, and great healing. What else could you ask for out of a class? The next melee on the list is the Death Knight. Frost Death Knights. I know we had a lot of melees, but stay with me. These Arthas wannabes are nothing to laugh at. Frost is one of those classes that is currently dominating in cleave damage. When you see snowballs flying around, no, it's not Christmas, it's just a Death Knight about to one-shot you. These guys can call airstrikes where a Cinder Ghost-like dragon will fly above the sky, bombarding the area in a straight line with frost damage. DKs currently have the potential to wipe out a whole BG group in a single setup if given the opportunity to cleave everybody down. In arenas, they'll shred through your healers and obliterate your enemies with massive crits. Some say that since Legion, Death Knights have gotten a lot easier to play, but I think that there's a new bit of depth about the Death Knight class, and Frost Death Knights are masters at what they do. As a rogue, I can definitely 1v1 a Frost Death Knight in a duel, but if they have a healer supporting them, then I'm going to have to watch out my positioning, my defenses, my healer, my health, because I know all of these things are going to be in trouble as soon as the Death Knight starts using Breath of Sindragosa. The next list is a Hunter. Oh, happy days, we finally have a range class, finally! Sorry to burst your bubble, but when I said Hunter, I meant Survival Hunters. Survival Hunters are masters of all forms of damage. Melee, bleeds, magical, pet, they literally do it all. There's no way to hide from a Survival Hunter in terms of defensives. Since Legion, they got a few changes and some of the best and some of the worst. Most people are simply not sure how they feel about their favorite spec being turned into a melee. Since then, they've got a few buffs for PvP, and currently Survival is a master of all forms of damage. No matter if you are spamming your foes with melee attacks, or bleeding them up, or using traps to deal fire damage, or even tossing axes at range, this class isn't limited to their damage options. A rogue might throw shurikens at you, and those might tickle, might even deal a little bit of damage. But if a survival hunter is tossing axes at you, then you might want to be on your toes. Survival aren't the tankiest specialization, so it's interesting since, you know, the name, survival. But their damage and chasing capabilities are enough to win games. Their best utility is their CC, being able to trap and root melee and casters alike for a very long while, keeping them at range, but only the most skillful hunters can perform such feats. So this class ends up being one of those very skill-based classes. Survival is one of those specializations that can literally do anything, but takes a little bit of practice and getting used to in order to perform at the top of the game. And finally we have a Warlock. Yes, we actually have a caster on the list, surprise surprise. The caster of choice is the Affliction Warlock. F is currently a leading competitor in the dot game, able to lock down healers from dispelling their damage and able to fear their foes away while rotting them from afar. Afflocks are currently very annoying for healers to deal with. One wrong move and you will find yourself getting kicked on spells cast twice, locking you out and forcing strong pressure on you. Affis are tanks, they take a ton of damage but don't show the damage in most cases. Able to outheal some of the strongest hits, Warlocks are spooky in arenas. Their ability to stack unstable infliction for soul shards offers massive pressure and bursts gameplay. These Warlocks make the whole enemy team suffer through the arena match with control and damage over time. Since Legion, their gameplay didn't really take too much of a hit, maybe a little bit less buttons to press. But of course, skilled Warlocks will still maintain great pet control and utilize their damage over time to the full potential in 2v2 arenas. So in the end, I gotta ask you guys, what you think of the list? What classes would you put in the list if you made one? Let me know all this in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, had fun getting the footage and writing the script for this one. And I hope you guys found this video very much entertaining. My name is Darren, and I hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.